The Edmonton Oilers make multiple moves as they head back to Rogers Place for a 3-game homestand later this week, including the return of a fan favorite Zach Hyman tonight against the Columbus Blue Jackets as we set that one up, as well as some other news. But first, we just reached 2,300 subscribers. If you haven't already, make sure you do so. But we'd like to thank each and every one of you who have joined us along the ride so far, and we are on the road to 2,500 subscribers. So it's been a very interesting year so far for the Edmonton Oilers, and it's going to get even crazier, folks. And this video is also brought to you today by Rentals.ca, who are proud supporters of Team Canada. While they've been supporting our national team defend their home court in international competition, they've also been helping thousands of Canadians find their home floor all across the country. Whether you're in Toronto, Vancouver, Montreal, Calgary, Halifax, Winnipeg, Mississauga, Edmonton, Victoria, or St. John's, from coast to coast, Rentals.ca have a ton of options to find the perfect place and price for you. Their website is clean and easy to use, and you can pinpoint exactly on the map where you want to move, finding all of the options in your area. Find your home court with Rentals.ca and check out their website in the pinned comment down below, or also in the description right down below this video. And again, shout out to Rentals.ca for supporting our channel, Team Canada, and for helping you guys find the best rentals across the country. But without further ado, Canada, yes, earlier this summer, Connor McDavid was one of the 6 named to Team Canada for the Four Nations face-off next February in 2025. But the full roster was also released last night. But he had some thoughts to get off his mind when it came to being named to Team Canada and seeing the rest of the names surrounding him. He said, "There's nowhere else I'd rather be than in Montreal, in Boston, on those 2 weeks. It's special to represent your country. This is a special team to be a part of. It's going to be a great event. All 4 countries, their rosters are ridiculous, loaded top to bottom, so it's going to be a great tournament, and I couldn't be more excited to represent my country." Of course, Connor McDavid representing Canada at various age levels. Of course, you know, his coming out party in the 2015 World Junior Hockey Championships and also in multiple World Hockey Championships, but he's never really been in a best on best on the pro stage anyway. I know the World Juniors is best on best, you know, when it comes to juniors, but for him to be, you know, 9 years into his NHL career, and this is the very first best on best international competition for easily one of the best to ever play the game, that is criminal. But folks, it's here at last. I mean, you know, we have the Olympics in 2026, but this is sort of an appetizer for the main course in Milan in 2 years. But you know, he's also asked about, you know, some of the other teammates on Team Canada that he was excited to play with. He said, "Hard not to say Sidney Crosby, hard not to say Nathan McKinnon. Those 2 guys that are just amazing, some of the greatest to ever do it. Going to be special to play with them. And a guy like Cale Makar, really excited about that. Sammy Bennett was my minor hockey line mate for 8 years, so hopefully there's a little chemistry there between us. Still looking forward to playing with him as well." I know there are also some names that, you know, were not named to Team Canada's roster, most notably, you know, a guy like Stuart Skinner, Evan Bouchard, or Zach Hyman. But folks, Zach Hyman is back in the lineup tonight with Hyman. Where have you been? Of course, yes, he missed 5 games after sustaining an injury against the Ottawa Senators. But, folks, he is back as the Oilers do take on the Columbus Blue Jackets later on tonight, 8 o'clock Central, 7 o'clock Mountain, with the first of 3 homestand games. Of course, they do play the St. Louis Blues on Saturday night. And it's gonna be an exciting one, folks. Of course, Zach Hyman saying it's exciting. It's a great day. Anytime you're back in the lineup, you're excited. That's what all of us love to do, is play. It's no fun when you're watching on the sidelines, especially when you're a little banged up. So it's good to be back, and it's good to have Hyman back in the lineup. Of course, we're still missing Victor Arvidsson. No idea when he's going to be back in the lineup, but to have Hyman back, that's huge. Not just for the top line with Connor McDavid, but also for that Oiler power play. And of course, he's been off to a very slow start this year with the Oilers, only 8 points in 20 games. You know, a very far cry from the 54-goal campaign last year for the Edmonton Oilers. So hopefully this break did him well, not just, you know, resting up, but also getting a mental reset heading back into tonight's game against the Blue Jackets. And just looking at the lines in the pairings at the morning skate here from Tony Brar of Oilers TV, Nugent-Hopkins, McDavid, and Hyman slotting back into that right wing spot on the first line. And then a very interesting second line with Vasily Podkolzin, Leon Draisaitl keeping that dynamic duo together, and Kasperi Kapanen next to Draisaitl. One would think why not put a guy like Jeff Skinner? But that third line was pretty good against Vegas the other night, so Jan-Mark Henrik in Skinner. And lastly here, the fourth line, Corey Perry, Derek Ryan, and Connor Brown. On the back end, Mattias Ekholm and Evan Bouchard, who again, sadly did not make the Team Canada roster. But I mean, that's just fuel for the fire when it comes to the 2026 Olympics. And hopefully we do see Evan Bouchard there. And then Darnell Nurse and Troy Stetcher and Brett Kulak and Ty Emberson with Travis Dermott being the extra defenseman. And Calvin Pickard gets the start tonight after Stuart Skinner. Again, say what you want about the game against the Vegas Golden Knights, but Stuart Skinner, he is getting back to form. Of course, we had that chart with the analytical breakdowns by month, and Stuart Skinner heading into one of the best months statistically of his career. But Calvin Pickard, not too bad himself when he gets the start tonight. But that's enough about the Oilers. Of course, I didn't think they played bad against Vegas. They were all over the Golden Knights, but Aiden Hill seemed to be doing Aiden Hill things and got a shutout against the Oilers. So more of that against the Blue Jackets, and there should be an easy win tonight. But the Blue Jackets, a very tough out, as you can see. Back in October, the Edmonton Oilers did lose 6-1 to the Columbus Blue Jackets, but that was a game clouded by lots of questions. Connor McDavid going down early in the first period with that injury, and sort of just seemed to, put the Oilers into a funk that game. So things should be a lot different tonight with our opposition observation. Yes, let's take a look into the Columbus Blue Jackets. A very strange team. On paper, they look like they're, supposed to be rebuilding, but they're looking a lot stronger than people expected them to be this season. But of course, they are simply on the outside of a playoff spot there with 11-10-3 for a total of 25 points. But interesting anomaly here. At home at Nationwide Arena, with the Cannon, must be the Cannon benefit, 8-3-1, but on the road, they are 3-7-2, which is very strange. But, some, good wins on the road, like against the Boston Bruins. They're winning 5-1. But, of course, they were just shut out by the Calgary Flames 3-0 in what was a very emotional game surrounding the Gaudreaus there. But the Blue Jackets, going forward on that one as they go into Edmonton tonight. Over Columbus's last 5 visits to Edmonton, they've only won once. That victory came during the 2022-23 season when Ken Johnston scored an overtime winner after the Jackets trailed 2-1 coming into the third period. Other than that win, they've only scored 5 goals across the other 4 meetings while allowing 17. So it seems to be a situation where the Oilers cannot win at Nationwide Arena, as they haven't won there since October of 2019, and the Jackets having trouble at Rogers Place. So taking a look into the Blue Jackets, first line, Dmitry Voronkov, Sean Monahan, and Kirill Marchenko, Cole Sillinger, Adam Fantilli, Kent Johnston, Zach Aston Reese, Justin Danforth, and Matthew Olivier, and then Michael Putia, Sean Corrali, and Kevin LeBanc on the back end. There's Zach Werenski named to the Team USA roster alongside Dante Fabro, who they picked up from the Nashville Predators off waivers, a player that I wanted badly, but the Columbus Blue Jackets were ahead in the waiver wire, and they managed to, snag him before the Oilers even had a chance there. And then Ivan Provorov, who was also named in trade rumors with the Edmonton Oilers, and Damon Severson, and Jake Christensen, and Jordan Harrison. Getting the start tonight for the Columbus Blue Jackets is Danil Tarasov. So it seems to be a battle of the backups between Pickard and Tarasov, rocking a 4.04 goals against average and a .861 save percentage. So not the strongest of stats compared to, their starter Elvis Merzlikins, who was very close to having a shutout against the Edmonton Oilers back in October, but the Oilers, with Mattias Ekholm, spoiling that affair. And when it comes to the Blue Jackets, again, a very strange team. Throughout November, nobody in the NHL allowed more goals than the Blue Jackets with 53. Their penalty kill was leaking goals too, playing at a rate of 72.5%. Edmonton, in comparison, had the 9th-ranked penalty kill with 82.8 and allowed the 11th fewest goals, 37. So the Oilers on the come-up when it comes to their special teams, and hopefully they can get their power play cracking again at Rogers Place, where they have a record of 5-6-1. So not exactly home ice advantage for the Oilers this point in the season, or at this point in the season. But again, very interesting one. Edmonton and Columbus, both top 3 in shots per games played, with the Oilers almost at 33 shots per game, and the Columbus Blue Jackets at a little over 31. So lots of offense tonight for both teams, and it should be an interesting one. Again, battle of the backups, Edmonton in Columbus. It always seems to be an interesting one. I mean, the Blue Jackets and Oilers never have boring games, even when you go back to the era of Rick Nash in the mid 2000s. Columbus always they're trying to get a name for themselves in the NHL. Of course, small market team with Columbus, Ohio. They have the Ohio State Buckeyes reigning supreme over them, and quite frankly, it's not even close. But the Blue Jackets, it's hard not to be against them when the Oilers aren't playing against them, of course. But still, should be a very interesting one. Let me know down in the comments what you think about the Four Nations face-off. I want to know your thoughts on the exclusion of Skinner, Bouchard, and Hyman. Of course, the Oilers' slow start didn't exactly do them any favors after, having all three, plus McDavid, all four, in the projected lineups for Team Canada. And also let me know what you think about tonight's game. Are you excited? I sure am. No reason not to be excited about Oilers hockey. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and enjoy the game tonight, folks. Let's go Oilers. Should be a good one.